Today, we are presenting on the Korean conflict and how it demonstrates our class thesis. First, let's review our thesis statement. The Cold War impacted the stability of the developing world by significantly changing its economic systems, alliances, borders, and political ideologies. This was done through interference in conflicts in weakened countries. To support this thesis, the Korean conflict was a war between North and South Korea that, according to History.com, began on June 25, 1950, when 75,000 soldiers from the North Korean army crossed the 30th parallel, which is a boundary between North and South Korea. Now let's talk about how our thesis is supported by the Korean conflict. First off, ABC Clio states North Korea was a communist People's Republic of Korea, which was backed by China, and the Soviet Union and South Korea was a non-communist Republic of Korea, which was supported by the US in order to help support and promote the capitalist side. Considering the tensions between the ideologies and the invasion which led to the war, revealing the Cold War impacted political ideologies in Korean conflicts, which made people choose between communism and capitalism. The Cold War's rivalry and tensions between capitalist and communist countries were increased by the Korean War, which had a major impact on the stability of the developing world. Ultimately, the Korean War demonstrates how the Cold War is affecting the world and how ideological disagreements resulted in armed conflict and how outside powers helped in order to further their own ideological objectives. For example, the US helping South Korea, which was not communist, in order to prevent the spread of communism.
The alliance between South and North Korea were majorly impacted. China and the Soviet Union supported North Korea. Because North Korea was supported by the Soviet Union and China, they were given economic and military support, leading to the invasion of South Korea on June 25th. More specifically, China gave military troops and assets while the Soviets gave equipment and training for the military. This then led to South Korea being supported by the United Nations. According to National Geographic, officially, the United States entered the Korean War on June 27, 1950, showing the US conflicted with the Soviet Union. They are seen as rivals in the Cold War. North Korea is supported on representing communism with the Soviet Union and China, while South Korea is supported on representing capitalism with the United States. This allowed South Korea to have a capitalist and democratic system. The United States provided South Korea with military assistance for further protection against North Korea. This helped with the military alliance and further control from a communist government. The United States mostly led the United Nations in this, and because the US was wrapped up into this, they were able to set their views on communism as well as strengthen their alliances in the Asia Pacific region.
Now we'll explore how the subject of economic systems supports our thesis. While South Korea was supported by capitalist America, North Korea was supported by the communists. These two extremely polarized economic ideologies allowed the larger, more powerful countries, the US and the Soviet Union, to involve themselves in the war and demonstrate even more control globally. Before the war, Korea was one country that shared economic ideologies. However, when this changed and the two countries split up, this allowed for more powerful countries to take a lead in controlling what the outcome of the conflict would be. This is because one larger country split into two weaker halves that were more in need of assistance from greater powers. Though neither of the countries ended up winning, the larger powers were able to demonstrate how much impact and control they have over conflicts compared to divided, weaker countries. Additionally, while war simply between those in each half of Korea would have been shorter and smaller because of their smaller economy with less fallout, with the assistance of these greater powers, the war lasted over 3 years and resulted in millions of casualties. Though many countries sent in troops to support the South, including Great Britain, Australia, Canada, India, New Zealand, and South Africa, the US is the most significant one due to its great power and influence and its direct stance against the Soviet Union and communism.